weeks old, but for those of you that haven't heard much about it, what are your thoughts? David V. Gibbs presents the facts as he understands it, and he's a teacher of the Constitution. And he points out how that the Fourth Amendment due process goes into details about what was wrong and where this actually is where it's going. So before I get into that video, because we're going to be watching Douglas V. Gibbs on his channel, all right, Constitution TV, we're going to do a shout out for the Insane Friends. All right. Wednesday, we have Sane Enterprise. They talk about business and different aspects of just many different aspects of just a variety of topics. And that is Sane Enterprise. Okay, then following, and that's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Following is Muscle Car Appraisal. And that's at 7 p.m. And they go over trivia and car trivia, muscle car trivia, etc. Really good channel. Check them out. And that's following Sane Auto on Wednesday. That is 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, or 6 o'clock Pacific Time, California time. Okay, and then like I said, there is Muscle Car Appraisal, and they have trivia following. Okay, now Thursday we have Dorito and Luce La Cabra. Okay, and that's at 6:30 p.m. or 6 o'clock p.m. California time, or 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's Dorito and the Luce Cabra. Then there is yours truly, Easy 2 Tips and Tricks, etc. 7 to 7:30, if I'm not running late, on Thursdays, or 10 o'clock to 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Then we have Saturday, Choppers Rule 1. Here in the United States, Eastern Standard Time, they start at 6:30 p.m. On Australia time, that would be Sunday morning. Not sure what time. So remember, Choppers Rule 1, Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would make that 9:30 Pacific Time or California time. Then on the third Sunday, we have Hot Rod Madness with Tim Bird. I believe that is. That's every third Sunday. Hot Rod Madness. Sounds like an interesting channel. I haven't seen it yet, but find your flavor or flavors, mix and match, and check out these channels. I'm sure you'll be glad you did. Okay, now coming to Sunday, we have Sane Auto, and they do a lot of car trivia of all sorts as part of their live stream on Sundays. Okay, and that's at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Then following, Gregory Salvadori, 9 p.m. Sunday Eastern Standard Time, which would make that 11 o'clock. What am I saying? That would make that 6 o'clock Pacific Time. So on that note, that sums it up for the calendar. And now I'm going to have to get this momentary set up, as I'm doing it as I speak, with Douglas V Gibbs with Constitution Study TV. So bear with me as I'm getting this set up as we speak. Okay. So this is not technical difficulties. It's just not professional as much as I would like for it to be. And it will be in the future. So until then, bear with me. And all right, so here we go as I'm getting it set up. All right. Now I'm going to have to turn this around. Okay. I'm getting this all dialed in. Okay. With me, please. There we go. David V. Gibbs, everybody.
Welcome. It is time for Constitution Study Television here on YouTube. I am Douglas V. Gibbs. You can learn more about me at douglasvgibbs.com, politicalpistachio.com. I want to talk about the Mueller testimony when it came to him testifying before Congress and the constitutionality of Mueller and that testimony or the lack thereof. Now, first of all, the appointment of Robert Mueller as special counsel violates the appointment clause of the United States Constitution. The appointment of Robert Mueller as special counsel by Rod Rosenstein in the manner of which in the manner in which Mueller is conducting himself, which is as a principal officer, requires that he be nominated and then confirmed by the United States Senate, of which neither happened. So, first of all, the very appointment of Robert Mueller as special counsel was unconstitutional. Now, let's get beyond that. Now we've got the special counsel speaking before Congress, testifying, and from a constitutional standpoint, one of the problems with the Constitution, with what Mueller has been doing, is the president has been guilty until proven innocent. They assumed guilt, investigated without having a crime. Because, see, in the Fourth Amendment, for any of us when it comes to the federal government, I mean, there has to be due process, you know. We have to know what we're guilty of, what we're being accused of. There has to be witnesses or, put forth, and so on and so forth. This is a crime that may exist, but we'll find it when we investigate. Could you imagine if the police came to your door and said, hey, we need to search your house because we know you're guilty of something. We don't know what. And we don't even know what might be in your house or where it might be, but you're guilty. We know it, so we're going to investigate you. We're going to keep investigating you until you're either broken emotionally, broken psychologically, broken financially, or we find something. Because we want you out of the house. We want you removed. And we want to make it so hard on you with this investigation that you are pushed out of your own home. Well, that'd be crazy. The Ion the news, reporters be all over it, and talking about the injustice against this poor citizen. But that's what they've done to President Trump. Now, when it comes to President Trump, first of all, supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, first of all. Second of all, President of the United States, while President can't be impeached, according to Article 2, when it comes to any criminal charges or anything that needs to go before court or anything like that, that happens after the presidency. Now, the thing is, there's no evidence. Mueller, in his testimony, said as much. I've likened this to a scene from the Old West. Could you imagine the law in the Old West saying something to someone a little bit like this? Yes, we have found no evidence that you have stolen any horses. However, we believe you are guilty of resisting being hanged for it. I mean, isn't that what they're doing? They're saying he's obstructing justice for something that doesn't exist. He's resisting being hanged for something he did not do. President Trump, I mean. The other thing that was fascinating about the Mueller testimony is that Robert Mueller did not look nimble and, I don't know, he just, I was starting to wonder if maybe Alzheimer's was setting in or something. Very tired, very old, very out of it. He didn't even know his own report. He kept having to ask what section. He didn't remember what was in there. And then he looked it up. Oh, yeah, okay. If it's in the report, it's true. Well, did you write the report? Were you a part of the report? Do you even remember what's in the report? That I found fascinating. But here's what I especially found fascinating. Even leftist commentators, after it was all over, were admitting this looked bad for the Democrats. There's no evidence of collusion, Russian collusion. Well, there is evidence of Russian collusion in the sense that the Russians are trying to interfere with our elections, and they colluded with somebody. But it wasn't the Trump campaign, and it wasn't President Donald J. Trump or any of his personnel around him. If anything, it was probably the Democrats. Matter of fact, I'm not going to say probably, definitely. But it's fascinating because the Democrats looked like the people who were stopping at nothing. When they were asking Mueller questions, it's like they were trying to lead him and he wouldn't go there. They said, well, we know there's something, so we haven't found it yet, but there's something somewhere. Yeah. Isn't it possible, Mueller? Well, we're not talking about possibilities. What's the evidence? I think the Republicans handled it quite well. I think Mueller embarrassed the Democrats. I think the Democrats embarrassed the Democrats. It looked very bad for the Democrats. And I think even more people in the public are going, you know what? Maybe this president isn't guilty of all the things they're saying he's guilty of after all. Anyway, it's been fascinating to watch. And once again, the constitutionality, I'm really bothered by the fact that we're watching the due process and innocent until proven guilty and all of those concepts that go along with the American justice system. He tossed out the window basically because the Democrats are upset because Donald J. Trump won the election and threw a monkey wrench in their establishment desires. Obama was the 8-year opener. Hillary was to be the 8-year closer, and we would never have a Republican president again. Now, that said, the Democrats are doing everything they can to make sure there is never a Republican president again. They're setting the stage with this. They're opening the opportunity for them to do this again, because now there's precedent. They're doing whatever they can to make sure that the Donald J. Trump type of thing doesn't happen again, because it scares them. Because they're frustrated because he's not a Republican. He's not a Democrat. So they can't, he's not politicians, so they can't control him. They can't bribe him. They can't threaten to ruin his political career. Can't take his money. I mean, he's losing money just being president of the United States. I mean, I was telling people, you know, Melania Trump and President Trump, Donald J. Trump, living in the White House, they had, as billionaires and the lavish lifestyle they had, living in the White House is like living in a Motel 6 to them. took cut and pay, and then he donated his pay away. This is not a man who's seeking power or seeking money or seeking anything other than he wanted to make America great again. Now, I know there's never Trumpers out there arguing with me, and it's funny because I said, well, Doug, he's not even a conservative, he's not even a Republican. That's the point. Pragmatic businessman who's decided this whole mess needs a businessman's approach. And the businessman's approach is, well, to kick butt, take names, and throw a bunch of people out the door. And that's what he's been up to, among other things. As a businessman, he understands what's going on, I think, more so than the politicians. And he's caught them in the act, and they're freaking out, and they're doing whatever they can to get rid of him. And finally, after no evidence, and none of this, none of that, with Mueller, finally they can get him for Congress. They'll get some. And they're a laughing stock. So, in the end, when it comes to Mueller, first of all, his appointment was unconstitutional. The style of investigation is unconstitutional. You're not guilty before proven innocent. You know, in our justice system, they'll say, you know, you're guilty of something. We think it has to do with this. We're going to go looking for evidence. The tactics they've been using are unconstitutional, unlawful. I'm fascinated with what's coming next. Now, I've been telling my radio listeners on KMET, by the way, every Saturday, KMET 1490 AM.com, for you guys that are not here in Southern California and can't tune in on the radio, Saturdays at 1 o'clock, I have a radio program. I've been telling my audience, I think this president knows more than the Democrats realize. He knows who's up to what. I think he knows more than the Republicans realize. I think a lot of them are guilty too. And I think we're going to see, for lack of a better term, a crap storm over the next year, approaching the election. I think Epstein was, as one person close to President Trump said, Epstein was the keystone. And Epstein, and you know about Epstein, right? This is the first arrest thing kind of to go down. And he has been called the keystone. What is keystone? Keystone is that stone in an arch that holds that arch together. Once the keystone is removed, the rest of the arch comes crumbling down. We just saw the beginning of the keystone being removed from the archway. Then there's the envelope affair where during H.W. Bush's funeral, some key Democrats and a couple of Republicans received envelopes. Nobody knows what was in them, but Jeb Bush had a look of horror. Biden had a look of horror. Hillary Clinton had a look of horror on her face. The Obamas received one. Carter wished he did. He was searching his folder trying to find his envelope. And surprisingly, Mike Pence did. I don't know if that means he's in trouble or if he's being told, hey, these guys got their envelopes and they're all scared out of their minds. And nobody knows what was in those envelopes. You know, look up the envelope affair on YouTube. I might even do a video on it. And I think that those envelopes were saying, hey, the jig is up. We know about you. You're next. Epstein was just the beginning. The arch is going to come crumbling down. That's what I think is getting ready to happen. We'll see what happens on that. As a constitutionalist, as a conservative, and as a patriot of the United States, I'm very as to what's going on, watching the left freak out. Now, on the same token, they're doubling down everywhere else. I mean, here in California, it's completely nuts. We got new sex ed and so on and so forth. It's absolutely, completely mind-boggling, out of control.
And it should not happen. This should not be the case.
The same thing. Portland's completely, Seattle's completely nuts.
Brainwashing our children.
States, Chicago area.
Brainwashing
the rest of America,
our children.
We're depending on you to make sure Mr. Trump gets reelected and that this continues and that the establishment is dismantled, because if it isn't, if we don't get this all dismantled and we don't put these people behind bars, if these people who have been committing treason against the United States with this deep state are not exposed, imprisoned, I'm half expecting some hangings, then this is the last Republican president of the United States, and the Constitution, we're practically in a post-Constitution period as it is.
This can't.
The last remnants of the Constitution.
Let's stand.
Swept away.
United we stand.
That's what we're up against when it comes to this president and the attacks against him and what the left is doing.
Now is the time.
They're hitting the education
Now
system,
is
as
the time.
always, to the point where it's completely out of control. Entertainment, all those different things that they've got control of. And it's up to us to dismantle all of that.
That's right.
And be involved and make sure that Mr. Trump gets back in. I mean, California's even going so far as they're trying to keep him off the ballot here. Not only because they don't want Mr. Trump to be able to even have a chance.
What's wrong with this picture?
California.
What's wrong with the picture?
But also because if it's like I told my wife, well, they're talking about keeping Trump off the ballot. She says, well, then why vote? Exactly. So all the down ballot Republicans don't have a chance.
That's right.
This is the type of dirty games the left is playing.
Wakey, wakey.
Mueller, this is something I think that is breaking things wide open.
Wakey, wakey.
His testimony showed how petty, unlawful, and ridiculous
Insignificant.
these Democrats have become. Anyway, stay tuned. We'll keep it coming. DouglasVGibbs.com, politicalpistachio.com. Thanks for watching. United we stand, combined we kick butt. Where we go one, we go all. And always remember, stay safe, stay patriotic, and stay constitutional. If you want to donate, keep this thing rolling. Keep information coming on this YouTube channel and my other one. I'm going to start some stuff over there too at youtube.com/Douglas V Gibbs. We need help because the radio show, man, we got a $520 shortfall right now. We're just barely keeping this thing going time-wise and equipment and all that. We need your help. So if you would like, and people are always saying, well, Doug, I'm not a speaker, I'm not a radio host. I try to go to city council meetings, but, I got soccer and I got with the kids, I got to make dinner. I wish there was something I could do. There is something you can do. Help fund the people that are really doing stuff, like myself. I'm an activist. I'm out there doing stuff. I've got city councils in Southern California that are nervous when I walk in the room. So go to DouglasVGibbs.com, politicalpistachio.com, find the little yellow donate button. And don't just give me a fixed number now. Give me a good fixed number, but then go monthly. $20 a month, $30 a month. $30 a month is about $1 a day. $20 a month is less than $1 a day. I think you can afford that. Help out the cause. Let's keep this thing rolling. Let's get them while we can, because if we don't take care of it now, we may be done. I think this country's at a crossroads. Mr. Trump became president right at the correct time to help us get to the proper road. But he needs your help by you helping fund those of us who get the message out there, who are activists, who are doing the things that we need to do. I don't get paid to do this, so your donations are necessary.
Okay. My friend Douglas V. Gibbs, he is very much involved. That is very true what he's saying. He is very much involved. I'm trying to get this set up. It's not cooperating. So hold on. Okay, now, Douglas V. Gibbs is an activist. He teaches the Constitution once a week. He doesn't charge for his Constitution class. It is a free class. And he's been doing this for quite a few years, actually. And my phone. There we go. All right. And he's written quite a few books. He just put one out here recently, a few months back. I think he has 5, 6 books written. One he's written for a private school on the Constitution. And he's going to meetings all the time, speaking with local representatives. And I don't know far as federally, but he's on target. And buy his books. You know, if you can't afford to support him like a monthly thing, it's okay. You know, I believe in what he's doing. So, and he has given me permission to play his videos. You know, if I need a written letter from him, he'll gladly write me out a letter for YouTube, you know. If they contact him and tell him, he's going to tell them, oh, yes, I've given Ken permission, or Easy 2 Tips and Tricks, etc. permission. And so there's no issues with that. But that's what I do to support him. I've got a book of his, and his books are very simply written. You know, his books are written in a format, the vocabulary he uses, it's broken down and easy to understand. So if you're thinking, my education isn't that great, man, I graduated the 6th grade and man, I haven't seen school since. It's okay. His books are easy to understand. They're not complicated. Like I said, he breaks it down and they're simplified, is what I'm trying to say here. Politicalpistachio.com is one of his websites. And his link is not in the description. It will be after the live stream. I was having some issues before I came live, so I didn't get his link in the description, but it will be. Nonetheless, so check him out. Highly recommend it. Now, what are your thoughts on on this Mueller, Robert Mueller? You know, and like he was saying, his testimony, every time he was asked a question, he was going, if it says it in there, then yeah, it's true. Hey, Sparky's Place, how's it going, my friend? You know, so when this Mueller is saying, yeah, if it says it, it's true. I don't think he even wrote it. I think somebody political came to him and said, hey, you know, we want to do this. You know, everybody's thinking that Trump is guilty of this treason, this collusion with Europe, with Gorbachev. You know, I was telling people on Facebook, I'm going, this is America. Our presidents don't have that kind of connection, and Russia has nothing to do with our political arena. And it's a joke, you know, people, just ignorant people. Hearsay. What is hearsay? You hear it, you say it. You don't know the facts behind it. You don't have any facts on it. Somebody speaks it and you're just a parrot repeating it. Hearsay, you know. And all this hearsay about Trump is you had collusion with Russia. What a crock of, you know what? How pathetic. And how sad is it for people to ultimately really believe this gobbledygook? They should have known it was gobbledygook. They should have known it was untrue from the moment they heard it. Just like it was ringing in my ears, you know? What a bunch of junk. America's got to wake up. American people got to wake up. And I say American people, I'm not talking about blonde hair, blue eyes, and light skin. If you're American, you're American. I don't care what color you are. It's time for America to wake up, snap out of it, wakey, and let's know our history. Let's know what this government and what our country's all about. Let's know what our country was founded on and where our foundation actually lies. You know, people want to say the Constitution is invalid anymore. Wait a minute. Did you join the armed forces? You have a family member, friends that joined the armed forces? Verify. Get the facts. I'll answer your questions here in just a minute in the chat. Keep them coming. Get the facts. If you know somebody that joined the armed forces and you don't know, ask them. When you join the armed forces, you swear, you put your life on the line, not your hand on a Bible, hello. You put your life on the line to defend this Constitution. Now, wait a minute. Why are you putting your life on the line to defend a Constitution that don't exist anymore? It exists. If the masses can be brainwashed into being deceived and accepting this lie that the Constitution is dead, then they can railroad you. Because you don't have no foundation to stand on. You have nothing to support you. The foundation is support you. The sound foundation, this Constitution gives us the freedoms that we all enjoy. And it protects us. It either gives the government permission to do, or it doesn't give them permission to do. That's the bottom line in the basics of the Constitution is the federal government either has the permission to do it, or the Constitution does not allow them, does not give them permission. And when they try to violate that Constitution, we the people who are the people? Americans. Red and yellow, black and white. Americans. Are you American? It applies to you. We pull together. We stand together. United we stand. We have a huge we're standing on this foundation, and it's our infrastructure so that we can stand on it and hold the government responsible for what they're trying to do, that they don't have permission to do, that they can't do. If we stand together, it won't happen. But if we lay down, we get ran over. Hello. And this is America. It's not communist Russia yet. Yet they're trying to make this, as I'm seeing it unfold here over the last few years, or quite a few years now. They're trying to brainwash. The Democrats are out for a third world country. They're out to create and make us a communist country. When Hillary Clinton introduced this Hillary Clinton health care plan, Congress laughed at her. Then Congress called Obama a lame duck on live news. And if you follow the news, you're going, oh yeah, Ken, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, they did call Obama a lame duck, but now we have got Obamacare. Well, what happened? The Democratic Party that Hillary is a part of had her Hillary Clinton health care plan, which was communistic health care. She was presenting to America. The Hillary Clinton health care plan is communistic health care she was introducing to America. Introducing to America. How many wars have been fought over this flag and the Constitution upon which it stands? One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the flag. I'm going to pledge allegiance to America. for liberty and justice for all. So it became the Obamacare. Congress laughed at Hillary's health care plan. They laughed at her. They threw it out. It got rewritten, readjusted a bit. It was handed to Obama. And it became the Obama health care plan. And somehow it got pushed through right underneath our nose. Kind of like this 2020 federal ID that's a violation of our Constitution. And we need to stand against that and make it known this is a violation of our Constitution. It's not okay. We're laying down, we lay down, we get ran over. America, stand up, get on your feet. This Constitution is alive and well. If you have family members in the armed forces defending this country, they pledged, they put their life on the line to defend the Constitution upon which this government operates off of. But you and me, they want us ignorant. They want us dumbed down. They want our children dumbed down. They're brainwashing our children in school. And it's a big plan to turn us into a third world country where they're controlled, they dominate, they dictate. And we say, yes, sir, no, sir, and get put back under the English rule that we came out from when we left England. We left England because of too much government, dictatorship. You know, they're putting together a one world church is under development. A one world government is what they're pushing for. Globalism. Third world country. Wakey, wakey, America. The boats are rocking, man. It's a tip. We're in rough seas right now, and everybody just wants to sleep like everything's fine. Wakey, wakey. We got to make our voices heard. We got to make it known. We got to quit believing the lie of Constitution is invalid. It just isn't alive anymore. Nobody cares. People are dying. We have family members, loved ones dying, friends that are dying for this country and for the Constitution in which they swore to protect. Don't tell me it's not alive. When people are putting their life on the line to defend it, it's very much alive and well. They want us to think. They want us to brainwash us to think that it's not alive, it's inactive, so that they can trample all over us. So we'll just give up and then lay down, and then they got their thumb on us. Time for us to wake up. Smack, man, we need to get smacked. We got to wake up. What's it going to take? This 2020 federal ID that people are buying into, they're being brainwashed and just accepting it. Oh, what am I going to do? I got to travel. This isn't, third world country. You need a passport to go from one country to the next. This is America, United States. United States. California is not a country. Nevada is not a country. Utah is not a country. Tennessee, Minnesota, Montana, not countries. It's the United States. It's a false deception. And they're telling a big lie, and they're manipulating the population by saying it's a Patriot Act. It's for our freedom because these people from other countries, terrorists, are going to come in, and if we don't do this, and they have freedom just to move and do their thing and blow us up and do all this horrific stuff, so we have to be treated like terrorists to protect us from the terrorists. Are we stupid? Why am I being treated like a terrorist? to protect me from the terrorist. Seems to be coming to that. Look at how they were talking martial law. See, time to flip and wake up. You know, to wake up. Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree, you know? Time to wake up. Talking martial law. We need to rise. We need to make our voices heard to the government, to our federal government. We need to be blasting the White House with phone calls, inundating them with emails, writing our congressmen, writing your senator. You know, we need to inundate Donald Trump's Twitter account with Donald Trump. No, we got to turn this 2020 federal ID around. What are they doing talking about martial law? This is America. We need to be inundating him with this stuff. It's the only way we could reach him as far as I know. If you're not involved politically, you know, like in the mix. But we got a voice. We can rally. We can get our voices heard. But nobody's rallying. I haven't heard of one rally over this 2020 federal ID. You've got the Patriots. You've got people, liberty groups. You've got patriot groups. You've got nobody's rallying. I try to get the Patriots in my local area to rally last year. All I got was excuses. If they want to have their weekly or monthly meetings and do nothing. What's it do? Make them feel good to get together and hang out and talk about what's going wrong and have a little tea party over a cup of tea while they snore in their and drowned in their teacup? What is going on, America? Wakey the flip up. Now, I'm not saying go get radical and do stuff that's stupid. I'm not talking about that. But if we all get out on the street and we pull together and we start standing united, when the Tea Party 10 years ago was pulling together and was rallying, it got the news's attention. They started getting recognition. The Tea Party was on the move, and then they just kind of fade away. Wake up. What's it going to take? We got a voice. This is America. It's still America. You know, they're trying to make us a global country, and that's the whole thrust of the Democrats, even some of the Republicans. How sad. I don't comprehend it. How can it be? I don't get it. I don't. Anyways, point being is we got to rally together. They're pushing for globalism. That's the ultimate goal. That's the checkmate. They can bring this country and make it a globalism. What people don't know in general is I've talked to people here on YouTube that live in Europe. Well, excuse me. That are in Europe. And they've got this 2020 federal ID. It's a little different. It's called something different, but it's basically even the same thing they're doing in Europe. They're trying to bring about globalism and tie us all together. Globalism. We're America. United. California's not a country, like I just said. Nevada's not a country. Tennessee's not a country. Montana's not a country. Idaho's not a country. But they want to treat us like we're a country. I need an ID to fly into another state. All in the name of safe because of terrorism. No, it's about controlling you. following you, knowing every step you take, knowing everywhere you go, knowing where you're at all times, that they want to check you out. Whoa. Throw on the brakes. They're out of line. Now, we got to turn this around. We got to start making our voices heard. You got a YouTube channel? Start talking about this stuff. Do some research if you don't know much about it. You know, globalism is the checkmate. That's where they're taking this. I'm going to check the chat. So this is why we got to speak up. And this is why we got to stand our ground and unite and make our voices heard. If we can get the media's attention on this topic, the president will hear it. Those that care will hear it. It will make a difference. But if we don't say nothing and we snore, we're laying down, we're going to get ran over. We're going to allow globalism to just infiltrate us. Now, our grandchildren and great-grandchildren, they're in trouble. You know, they need to be taught things that I don't think they're being taught. And we have our children raising children. Grandparents aren't in their lives. They don't have the input of the grandparents, and they're being sold a bunch of lies. They're buying, you know, beachfront property in the desert, and they're buying it. We need to educate and make it known to them. That's the next thing that's going to be happening. We know, and stuff is still flooding in on top of us because we're not standing. It's time to stand. Time to make our voices heard. If you got a YouTube channel, bring this topic up. Globalism is a checkmate. This 2020 federal idea is a huge, huge move. It's a check before the checkmate. You're bringing globalism about. To get things, get everything's kind of in order and prepped. It's prep for the connection. Family values have gone down the drain. Yes, in general, yes, they have. You know, Robert Cunningham, yeah, most definitely. You know, our country was built on God. Most families back in the 40s and 50s got up in the morning and went to church. Most families. The majority of the population went to church in the 40s and 50s. We're not talking about the 1800s here. 40s and 50s was a while back, but it's not that long ago. You know? And today, you have such a small percentage in general of the population going to church on Sunday. Our country was founded on the Bible, founded by Christians. Those that left England and came to America, the majority of them were Christians, Bible-believing, God-fearing men and women. Amen, Bobby. Yes. And today, where's it at? Oh, there's too many hypocrites. Oh, there is? Hypocrites make the food you eat. So are you going to go on a fast and stop eating? Hello? Hypocrites make the food you eat. Are you going to stop eating and go on a fast and just stop? Point being, there's not an excuse good enough. You need to know your Father in heaven, your Savior, your Creator, the author and finisher of your faith, the author and finisher of the foundation that this country was built on, the foundation of our this is a foundation to our Constitution. Our Constitution ultimately comes from the Word of God. because men of God knew the word of God, and they wrote the Constitution based on the principles in this book right here, known as the Holy Bible. That's the foundation to our Constitution. If you read the Constitution and get familiar with the Constitution, you'll see it just dovetails and just blends with the Bible and the values and the standards of the Bible. Come on in. And we're getting away from, and they want us to think that the Constitution is dead. It's not. When our loved ones are laying their life down on the line, putting their life down on the line to defend the Constitution when they joined the armed forces. It wasn't just foreign and domestic. I said domestic threats. I said domestic. It's to defend the Constitution is a part of that. So if you don't know that, had a friend in the military, ask them. You have a family member that's been in the military, ask them. If there's somebody you meet out in a restaurant or somewhere and they're in the military, ask them, did you swear to defend the Constitution when you joined the military? See what they tell you. Don't take my word for it. Find out the facts, do your research, but know that you know what the truth is. And don't believe the lies that's coming at us at 100 people that are just anti-American because they don't care, because they just want to be liberal and anything goes. If it feels good, do it, and bring America down to nothing, Sodom and Gomorrah, because that's where we're headed on the other side of all this. You know, look what's going on in our society. You know, I rented a video from Redbox the other night. It was an action movie, man. And if they didn't throw in something that didn't belong, and it's to deprogram, it's to reprogram you and deprogram you, us. You know, it showed two guys that were the henchmen. They were the guys, you know, that was protecting the kingpin. Tough guys, supposedly, right? You had to show them holding hands. Whoa. Whoa. I was ready to flick that thing off. And before I could hit the off button, they were kissed. Yes. Yeah. That's to deprogram and to reprogram society and our children. Your child sees that. And they threw it as only one scene in the whole movie, that one little blip. The whole purpose of the movie, I think. That was the whole purpose, was to slip this little blip in there that lasted maybe 10 seconds or less. 5 seconds. Point being is a little blip, the only one in the whole movie, to deprogram and reprogram. We got to get back. Hey, Miss Maria. Thanks for being here. God bless you. So we got to wake up. We got to hold our ground. We got to pull together. We need to get out there on the street, you know, and rally against this stuff. You know, they're wanting to control us like puppets, and then they're wanting to turn our country into Sodom and Gomorrah all at the same time. Just utter ruin, you know. Rome was, you know, didn't think that ever fell. Rome fell. Rome was destroyed. America's next. And this is all wrong. All wrong. You know, oh, if it feels good, do it. No. It's getting, things are so out of control. Nobody's going to know what's right. Very few people are going to know what's right and wrong, you know. All in the name of don't feel guilty, you know. If you do something wrong, you're supposed to feel guilty for it. So you don't do it. So you learn from it. Let's erase the guilt factor. Let's eliminate the right and wrong and just make it okay. Feels good, do it. And then what? People are dropping like flies with AIDS and other diseases in the streets because there's no right or wrong. It's all good. We're getting away from God. We're getting away from the foundations upon which has made this country great. What has made this country great? We got to get back to basics. And the first thing that made this country great was the fact it was founded and based and built on God and the Bible and the values. Our Constitution is a perfect example of the foundations and the values of the Bible, because the Constitution came from the Bible. The men that wrote that Constitution were Christians and the Bible, and they were God-fearing, Bible-reading men. And the Constitution is based on the Bible. And as the more you learn about the Constitution, the more you realize that it had to come from the Bible. There's no doubt about it. The more you know it, the more you learn it, you just see it dovetailing. It just blends together. It just connects so well. And Miss Maria, a nation without God is a nation under Ronald Reagan. A nation without God is a nation under Ronald. Well, Ronald Reagan was a Christian from what I understand. So I don't understand what you mean by that, unless you heard something or know some facts that I haven't heard or I don't know. As far as I know, he was a Christian, Ronald Reagan was. But bottom line here is we need a nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, all right, maybe it didn't come out right. Gone under, I didn't read it right. Okay. So, you know, we got to stand. We got to hold up these values. We got to talk about it. You know, you're out in a restaurant, talk about it. Without God is a nation gone under. Yes, it is. And we are on our way if we don't wake up, you know. But then the other side of this coin is it's something not everybody's going to agree with or even maybe be aware of, but the Bible talks about end times, you know, Armageddon, the Antichrist, the mark of the beast, 666. You can't buy, sell, or trade without a number, here or here. Some, you know, and all this gobbledygook coming up on TV and YouTube. Oh, there's a mark, you know, and it's a chip that goes right here. It's a little chip. That's not the mark. It's preparation. It's training ground. They're definitely doing and finding out, doing their research and learning about what they can do and not do and what works and doesn't work. I misread too. Yeah. I'm glad you cleared that up. But they're calling stuff the mark that's not to what? To deprogram, to desensitize you to it. So that the mark comes, it's on you're going to be your forehead or your hand. People are going to just take it like no big deal. You know, it's not like you can't lose it. Don't have to be saying all kinds of stuff. You know, you'll never leave home without it. You know, they'll be coming up with all kinds of commercials, making it look good, sound good, taste good, you know. And people are just going to buy it, hook, line, and sinker. They're going to snatch it up and think they got a great deal. And that's what's coming. But we can hold it back, I believe. We can hold it off. We can push it back by uniting, by rallying, by holding our government accountable to the Constitution. This 2020 federal ID needs to be removed. Trump needs to overturn it. The state needs to overturn it. It needs to be removed. The legislature needs to throw it out. But they need to hear our voices, and nobody's making a big enough noise. Nobody's making enough racket. You know, I've talked about this periodically on my channel now for over a year, and I don't hear anybody else really talking about it. Oh, I needed to travel. No, you don't. That's a lie you're buying. This is what they're selling and you're buying it. This is America. It's okay if you're married. It happens sometimes. It's okay if you're misread. Is that what you said? Misread? It happens sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. Oh, if you misread it, yeah, it does happen sometimes. It does. Sometimes I use voice activation when I speak in a chat or leave a message. It's faster. Misread, yeah. And I'll say something and it comes out way wrong and I'm in a hurry and I don't catch what it's saying until after it's on the screen and I'm looking at it and I'm going, holy smokes, I did not say that. Then I got to go back and sorry guys, voice activation isn't working and it screwed up what I said, you know. So you know it happens. And this voice activation, you really got to watch because it'll throw things in there. Whoo, it makes you look really weird, really bad. So I gotta slow down when I use it, that's for sure. So anyways, yeah, so we just need to start talking to people, family members, friends, sitting in a restaurant, bring the subject up with, you know, person next to you, waitress. You know, we got to get people talking about turning this 2020 federal ID around. Our Constitution is not dead. Autocorrect is, yeah, it can be a pain too. Correcting it the wrong way. You know, but we got to get people rallying, you know. This has got to turn around or we're in trouble. And our grandchildren, if this world's still here, for our great grandchildren, that is, they're really going to be in trouble. They're not going to know what's true. They're just going to believe garbage, and it's going to be handed down from now till then, and they're not going to know what the facts and the truth is. If the video like mine is still up on YouTube, you know, 40, 50 years from now, who knows? They'll hear this broadcast and they'll be going, what's he talking about? What? I didn't hear that. And this, wait a minute, who is this? You know, and make them think if it's even still on YouTube. If, like I say, the world's still here. But we don't know what day, we don't know what hour, we just know it's coming. The end is coming, just when. But so at any rate, we still have time, I believe, or I believe it's a limited time, who knows how long. But a good start would be to see this 2020 federal ID reversed. You know, like I say, it's preparation for globalism, turn us into a third world country, put us under the thumb of our government. And then next it will be a one world government, a one world leader, a one world church, the Antichrist, cashless society. And 7 years later, it'll be over. So if you don't know your Bible, get into it. Read Revelation. Does it scare you? Take your time, go through it, read it. God loves us. He has a plan for us here and the hereafter. But in the meantime, we need to do our job, share Jesus with the world, and hold our Constitution, hold our government liable to the Constitution. Hold them accountable. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that, Miss Maria. Yeah, there's a lot there. So much there. Definitely make you think. Sober you up real quick. I mean, if you're thinking all silly, I mean, it'll make you think straight. Revelations is a good book. God even says if you read it, you're blessed. He'll bless you. That's a promise. So, all right. Well, I appreciate everyone for being here. Thank you for all your comments. I go live every Thursday. It's always different. I never know what it's going to be on. I also have a Bible study channel for those that don't know it, and you can search it on YouTube. In the search, it's called Basic Bible Study 777. And if you put Basic Bible Study 777 in the YouTube search, it will be up at the top, and it'll show like Jesus, a statue on a cross, partial. And then you'll see my videos. You'll see me, and you'll know it's my channel. I don't have too many people in there yet. The more the better, you know. I really like to have more people. Can be very scary. You bet, Robert. You bet. Well, okay. I thank everybody for being here. If you like animal videos, I've got some videos of a lizard, of a night lizard. Different subject here, just throwing it out here at you. I have a video of a night lizard. First time I've ever seen one. I caught him in my front yard. His head has scaling, it looks like a snake, just his head. His body looks like a salamander, and he sparkles. He's got like this gold sparkling colors. It's a trip, like metal flake on his back. Real unique looking lizard. It's called the night lizard. I've never seen one. And in the video one, who knows what this is? If somebody could tell me. Cool looking lizard. Then I have some other animal videos, just for those that are into animals and stuff. Well, thank you there, Bobby. You know, a year and a half ago, before I started going to this Constitution class, it's where I met the instructor, Douglas V Gibbs. I didn't know much about the Constitution, and I wanted to know more. And I had a friend of mine that had gone to his class. Then I was talking to a Patriot or Tea Party group, and they told me about this class. So I went over to this class where I met Douglas V Gibbs, and I started learning it. Then my motor blew up, and I just got it fixed. But I hadn't been for about a year, but I am in contact with Douglas. And hopefully here in the near future, I'll be able to start going back, and I'll be going live with his class again. But I have videos on the Constitution in my playlist, from 1 to like 6 or 7, Article 6 or 7 of the Constitution, I believe. So anyways, I have it in my playlist, part of the Constitution. I'm being taught live, dog training videos, etc. So, all right. I appreciate everyone for being here. Bobby, we'll have to talk soon. Maria, thanks for being here. God bless you. You might like to check out my Bible study channel, which, again, Basic Bible Study 777. Put it in the YouTube search, and I'll be like the first or second from the top. So maybe the third. Anyways, I'm right up there at the top. Look forward to hear from you. Come back and comment in the comments on this video. That would be great. Give me your thoughts, your input, your insight, what you think. You know, go over to Douglas V Gibbs. I'll have his link in the description as well after this live stream. And check out his channel. He has many more videos on many different subjects. And don't be a stranger. United we stand. United we make it happen. And as I always say, never give up, because there's always a way. Always. And united we stand, and united we make it happen here on YouTube or off YouTube. Cool idea. I'd like to hear more on it. Right on, Bobby. Check out the playlist on the Constitution I have in my playlist. It's Home Videos Playlist. Tap on it, scroll through until you find Constitution study or videos or something. It'll be titled something, the Constitution. Now, when you get down to the list of videos, you'll go through a bunch of them. If you don't see it, at the last video at the bottom of the screen, there'll be this V underneath it, but it's going to be a little V, I mean a tiny one. Tap on the V, it's really an arrow, and a whole nother will show up and you'll have more to scroll through. I'm not sure where it's at in the list, the Constitution study, but it's in the playlist. It could be down pretty far is what I'm saying. I'm not quite sure. So, God bless, take care, keep looking up, and we'll catch you on the rebound. Bye for now. Thank you for being here. Your friend Ken. Good night.